Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today's podcast, I'm just going to get into a few things, a few subjects, and update you on my counselling session this week. But first of all, there's some new good videos out on the channel, especially the ones that I done recently, where there are very subjective debates around the subjects I done videos on that do affect mental health. The transgender debate for one. So check that video out. It is really good. Um, there is also a new video how to nurse your mental health from some of the things that I'm getting through counselling. So make sure you check those videos out. They are live on my channel now. But let's get on with today. So the first thing I want to speak about is I've been watching a lot of debate videos on YouTube and a lot of podcasts on YouTube with Jordan Peterson, the psychologist, debating on all these different things: mental health, gender debate, gender equality, pronouns, and I find debate fascinating because you get all these very educated people talking about these certain things, historians and stuff like that. But then you obviously get the radicalists and the activists, jumping on everything they say. So debate is very interesting, and I think debate is very healthy for society because it gives everyone the right to have an opinion on a certain subject. Um, Now, I don't profess to know everything that they're talking about because some of the times I'm lost with all these pronouns and what people identify as, what people don't identify as. Um, what words they would use to describe their gender identity. Look, there's so many things going on. Um, But just to have the debate and just having a debate, I think is healthy for society. And Jordan Peterson is someone that's really inspired me over the last year um, with his mental health work. I watch a lot of his videos on YouTube regarding mental health, and it has helped me massively. So I do recommend Jordan Peterson or for mental health and stuff like that because um, he's a psychologist. He's very well educated. He speaks very well, um, and he's very engaging. He makes you want to listen. He's someone who commands respect because of his background, because of his education, because of what he's done in the field of psychology. So, if you are looking for someone to inspire you with your mental health and give you advice and listen to advice, he is someone that I would recommend that we go and listen to because he certainly helped me along with obviously everything else I'm doing. But they're very interesting debates, very radical. Some of the views are way left field, and some people are left, some people are right, some people are in between. It's fascinating listening to all this debate because there's so much going on in the world. My problems that I'm having individually seem minor compared to what's going on in the world with all these different debates and people going through a lot more than I'm going through with my mental health. So it is interesting listening to and seeing the debate because it does put it into perspective what I am going through, and if they can overcome the problems that they have in their life, and get to where they want to be, why can't I do that? So it does give me hope. It does give me some clarification that there are people out there who've gone through worse than I'm going through. Although for me, it feels as worse as what they're going through because having being trapped inside your own head is the worst place that you can be. Um, and I only know that from experience. I wouldn't have known that beforehand. I wouldn't have thought that that would be the case. Um, but being 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 as down as I am about my mental health, it does put it into perspective a bit that there are massive issues going on in the world, and it does make my situation look minor. So it's like a double-edged sword, really, because for me, what I'm going through is massive. But in the wider scope of things, in the wider scope of the world, there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more important wars and battles to be had. Um, this is my own individual war that I'm going through. This is my big challenge. But all these different debates and all these things that are going on with humanity at the moment, with vegans versus meat eaters, uh, gender equality, pay equality, transgender debates, the use of pronouns of how many of what you people identify as. Um, there's 100 different genders or whatever it may be. There's so much going on in the world that sometimes I do feel like, you know, what am I crying about? What am I moaning about? But in my head, my illness is massive to me. Um, but the only reason, I've done videos on those debates is because, I just think everyone's entitled to an opinion. No one has to agree with it, but everyone has the right to free speech, and everyone should have their voice heard. Um, it's fascinating watching all these people and listening to all these different podcasts. The You're not just getting it from professionals in that field. You're getting not the general people's opinion as well, and I think that's massive because debate is healthy, in whatever subject it is. Debate is healthy. For me, obviously, generally the content I search for on YouTube is about mental health. I want to immerse myself in mental health and know what to expect, know what PTSD can do to me, so I'm better prepared to face it as I'm going through it. Um, but connecting to information through people like Jordan Peterson, people like for instance, I also enjoy watching some of Andrew Tate's stuff. Um, I enjoy watching Piers Morgan debate different subjects and stuff like that. So there's plenty of variety on the internet that we can all look into depending on what we're looking for or searching for. But debate is healthy. Communication is healthy in any walk of life. Um, and regardless of all these arguments, debates, and disagreements, I feel like we can still all have respect for what someone's going through. If that's the way they choose to live their life, and that's how they wanna identify, then that is their human right to be able to do that. We can have an opinion on it, but we should not show disrespect towards it. That's just my opinion on it. I feel like you know both sides of every argument obviously have points that are valid. But I think what it boils down to is the respect of others' opinions, and respecting the fact that not everyone is going to agree with you and your stance on whatever subject that you're talking about. Because, if you look back in history through all the debates, through all the wars, through all the challenging times, humanity has come through all of that. Um, and they couldn't have done that without togetherness, without respect, and without dignity. So I think, whilst I agree with the right to protest and stuff like that, I do think sometimes things can be conducted in a better way. Um, Sometimes the stigmas and the hate, and the disbelief that mental health doesn't exist, that depression doesn't exist, that it's just designed or constructed by society as a trending topic, is absurd. Because it's medical fact that these things exist. It's a medical fact that your brain can go through these things. So it's interesting to me, and I was really down last week on last week's podcast. I was really really in a low place. Again, it's up and down for me. But this week, I've had counselling, and I've tried to do positive things by listening to Jordan Peterson and other psychologists on YouTube. I do like watching the TED Talks interviews as well. They're very insightful, very helpful. So I think the information is out there for everyone to get. You don't necessarily have to be educated to high levels to be able to get the information or understand the information that you're looking for. You just need to be open to the fact that there is help out there, and it's available through the platforms that you use. And for me, listening to someone like him sometimes has got me out of a place where I hurt myself, or where I'm feeling like hurting myself. Listening to someone like him, someone of his stature, someone of his education level, someone of his understanding of what the brain is going through, has got me out of um, those moods, and got me out of that place where I feel like hurting myself. So if you don't like, watching Jordan Peterson, then find someone else. But there's plenty of information for us out there. I'm not the best educated man. I'm just, someone who worked hard all my life from the age of 16. Got dropped out of college. Didn't do very well. Got kicked out. Worked all my life since I was 16. Um, Worked my way up to, from collecting trolleys at the old Toys R Us to running stores across the UK, for big retail companies. But for me, obviously, if you're a member of the channel, you know my backstory. Obviously, I had a breakdown in February of 2022. Tried to commit suicide twice last year, and I'm currently going through um, mental health, depression, anxiety, and PTSD, which is why obviously I'm not working at the moment. Um, but I found that being able to talk on YouTube, and being able to talk myself through what's in my head has really helped. This is a tool for me to help my mental health. I'm not just trying to make it big on YouTube or whatever. This channel has played a part in me getting some sort of structure that keeps me occupied, that keeps the mind away from the bully that's in my head. Um, it's fascinating how the mind works, um, because in my therapy session on Tuesday, uh, my counselor was explaining to me, how the brain constructs different things within its head depending on which part of the brain that you're trying to activate. So it is a fascinating thing, the brain, and it can do very, very good things for you, but it can also hurt you very badly. And that is what is happening to me at the moment. So, sometimes when I when I'm watching these things on YouTube and listening to these podcasts, sometimes it does make me feel that my problems are minor and there are bigger things going on in the world. But then there's another side of me says, why should I minimize what I'm going through, and why should it be that small? Because to me, it's massive. To me, it's all I can. It's all that's going on in my head at the moment. Is the issues, the mental health issues, and that is what is making the world challenging for me to live in at the moment. So why should I minimize that? Why should I feel like my my mental illness isn't as important as all these other debates? Because for me, it is. It might not it might not to be to anyone else, but it is to me. And it's fascinating that still people out there think that you can just snap out of mental health, that you can just get over it. Because there's a massive distinction between having a bad day and feeling depressed. Having depression is being in a body that wants to continue, but a mind that wants to die. And can you imagine feeling that way 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and imagine what that does to the brain? It's it's medical fact. Don't shame people who talk about mental health. Congratulate them. Respect the courage that they've shown about to come on YouTube and talk about their issues and ask for help. Reaching out for help isn't a weakness. It's a sign of courage. And it's a sign that they've accepted the fact that their brain can't take no more and it needs help. So regardless of whether we disagree or agree with people on here, just respect their right to talk about things that they want to talk about because it's important to them. If it's important to them, then let them do what they need to do to get through the day, to get through to tomorrow, just to have a bit of peace in their mind. So they're doing something other than self-harming or playing negative thoughts over and over in their head or having flashbacks and reliving traumas. It's You have to be very careful these days in society about the things we say, how we say them, who we might be offending, and having extremist views because everyone is different. We're all individuals, so I think whilst we don't have to agree with everything we watch on YouTube or listen to, we have to respect their right to say what they need to say, um, because it's important to them. It's important to who they are and how they want to portray themselves online. So if we have that understanding of what people do this for, then I think YouTube and social media in general will be a better place. Um, I think ultimately the word that should be trending worldwide should be going viral on YouTube, should be going viral on TikTok is respect. Respect each other's right to be a human being and their right to free speech and their right to feel like what's important to them means something. It means something to them. It's important to them. You have things that are important to you, and people need to respect what you want. But ultimately, I think my message today is respect in in society is lacking, and I think it needs respecting. I'm only okay today and doing a bit better because I've been to the gym this week. I'm going swimming tomorrow. I've come live on here. I have a structured week now just to get me through the week. If I didn't have these things, if I wasn't doing these things, I would either be cutting myself or in a mental hospital because I'd be going crazy. But the activity and the videos and the work on the channel um, and the structure of how I conduct my day and weekend with my son is keeping me going at the moment. If I didn't have structure and if I didn't have the support mechanisms that I've put in place for my mental health, I would either be dead, institutionalized, or cutting myself just to get through the day. And unfortunately, that is the only way I can get through the day is having structure, taking the medication, engaging in counseling, and having the structured activities that I have to do, even if I don't want to be able to get through the week. And that's what my challenge is. That's what my life is. Now it's interesting. Um, Obviously, I've been trying to research where to put my podcast and have it obviously not just my YouTube lives, but record podcasts and upload podcasts so people can listen to. So I've joined up with Anchor, which is I think I believe is a part of Amazon. So I will be doing that shortly. But it's interesting that I want to. It's interesting how YouTube and being on this platform and using this platform as a mechanism to be a part of my structure for mental health is giving me ideas how to grow on YouTube, and how to grow on social media, and how to help other people on social media. Um, I never thought I'd be able to do this, and I'd never thought I'd be able to get, even one person looking at one of my videos. Um, but you can, I if you take away the fear, if you take away the thought that of failure, if you take away fear and the thought of failure, if you take that away and just believe in yourself and just get in and do the first one, then you'll never know where it'll take you. And for me, I'm going to use this mental health experience in the future to help other people via communication, via talking to them about what they're going through, listening to them. Because the most important part of helping someone or supporting someone with mental health issues is listening, and the ability to be able to understand what they're going through and resonate what they're going through. Um, and that's massive. It really is. Having that understanding that they just want someone there that's willing to listen, that is willing to try to understand what they're going through, and that's important as well. So whether it be today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, in a few years, whatever it may be, one day I want to try and help people um, through communication, through podcasting, through uh, informational videos, um, and using the channel for something good. Um, Because I guess if I didn't have this, like I said, I would be dead. I would be. The structure I have now, or the things that I do to get through the week, keep me going and keep me alive. Um, so believe in yourself a bit more. Remove fear. Remove the thought of failure, and just do whatever you want to do. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, you can say you tried. You can tell yourself, "Look, I tried. It didn't work, but at least I had the courage to try." And having courage makes you and will make you stronger one day. So just be brave. If there is something that you've been thinking about doing, but you're scared of failure, that you have that fear of failure, just try to overcome that and just get the first part of it done. Whether it be creating TikToks or being on YouTube or whatever it may be, whatever activity that you've been thinking or job that you've been thinking of going for, just go for it because life's too short, and I definitely found that out. I've definitely found out that life is too short in the period that I'm going through. Um, so it's fascinating that I've gone from never really being on social media um, to having two YouTube channels. One obviously dedicated to mental health, and another one is just something that keeps my mind creative. Um, I have a TikTok account which is promoting mental health awareness. Also, my Instagram now is about promoting mental health awareness. So I think I found my purpose in, and I've joined the war against the stigmas. I've joined the battle against the barriers that exist in the mental health sector. Um, that is my purpose now, as well as you know being a dad, being a brother, being a son. Those are my two most important things in my life at the moment. Um, I don't want anything else. Don't need anything else. I can't give anyone else anything, um, because not 60, 70, 80% of the time, every day, I want to kill myself. It used to be 90 and as close as 99%, especially from February to February last year to January this year, it was in the high 90s, and yet now it's gone to about 60, 70% because of the structure I have that doesn't allow me to think about it. So get some structure, but believe in yourself. Take challenges and explore everything you want to explore, because one day we'll be too old and we will live with heavy regret. And I've always wanted to get my views across. I've always wanted to be able to use my voice, um, and my ability to have a conversation, I think, um, for good use. Um, the I have the old-fashioned work ethic. I worked since I was 16 non-stop, right the way into my 30s. Non-stop, no break. I know how to work hard. I had to work hard to get where I wanted to go. But I never looked after my mind, and I had the breakdown. I am where I am. I'll get back there one day, but I want this to become my job. I want social media, YouTube to be my job. I want to speak to people about mental health. I want to help other people that's going through struggles, that is really in dark times. And I want to inspire people through my channel, through my content, through raising awareness, through challenging stigmas and challenging those barriers that still exist around mental health. And that's the most important thing. Being a voice for change, being a catalyst for change, and starting a movement that leads to change. Being part of that has meaning to me now, has purpose to me now. And being a part of the mental health community, I'll never forget and I'll never leave, because it's massively supported me through the worst times of my life. Um, and yes, I know, obviously, I need to evolve, um, to, get to the level of these people, to get to the audience of these people. But it'll be a year. When did I start? April is when I started my first mental health channel. So it'll be a year in April that I've been on YouTube. Um, so plenty of time. Um, Hopefully, I can get to a better place mentally. I'll never be fully cleared of my mental health problems, but I do hope to be able to manage them, so I'm able to do what I want to achieve in life, to have a life. Because last year I accepted that my life was over. So I'm trying to find out what my life is now, what it's about, who I'm going to be, what I'm going to be, how it's going to look. All those things are now in my head, because, last year I was so low that I'd accepted that it was over, it was time to go. So now that I survived that, and I've I took the step to join YouTube, I took the step to create a channel. It's given me, hope that I can do something one day. Um, Next week, I will have a guest on, and we will um do a conversation regarding mental health. It definitely will be next week, and then I'll have a guest on every week up until then. As it progresses, I'll hopefully do more collaborations. Then when I get more well known on YouTube, um, I can collaborate with all these different content creators around mental health and speak about my challenges, their challenges, what they're going through, what I'm going through, and I think that's something that will be worth a watch. So, do keep supporting the channel. Do keep supporting me, and the message that mental health awareness is okay. It is okay to suffer. Excuse me, with mental illness, and it is something that we can manage. We will get there one day. Hopefully, I continue. with the path that I'm going, doing the things that I'm doing to keep my mind away from the negativity and the fact that part of me just still wants to die and doesn't want to be around anymore. And I think that's the part of me I need to explore, beat, and get over. Um, so keep supporting the channel. Thank you for watching today. If you have watched, if you watch this later on, um, just use that word I've used in today's podcast, and I think that is lacking in society is respect. Respect everyone's right to be an individual. You don't have to agree with everyone's opinion because that's what opinion is. But we have to have respect. We have to have respect between individuals that we all have our own individual right to be who we want to be. So just you keep that word at the forefront of your mind when you're on social media is respect other people and they will give you the respect you deserve as well. Thank you for watching today. Look after your family and friends. Take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you all soon on the Mental Health Diaries podcast. Take care. Goodbye.